Hello and welcome to Power Engineering International Newscast. I'm Dermot Williams. In this week's news, German engineering giant feels the pinch from Energiewende policy, South African strike disrupts power plant construction, robot jellyfish terminator to put an end to power plant problems, and climate change minister advocates shale gas to fight emissions. One of Germany's biggest engineering companies is suffering indirectly from the country's ongoing transition towards renewable energy. Bilfinger is being impacted from the inability of utilities to build new conventional power plant capacity and expects full-year adjusted net profit to decline to between €230 million and €245 million compared to €255 million last year. JP Morgan estimated that utility spending accounts for about 19% of the revenues of European capital goods companies for which it provides coverage. But the rapid decline in utility spend means Bilfinger has been forced to announce job and capacity cuts. Bilfinger's power business segment has been affected by Germany's efforts to shift from fossil fuels to renewables, which has led to a considerable reluctance to invest on the part of energy suppliers. The problems being experienced by major engineering companies look set to continue, with JP Morgan analysts forecasting that most countries in Europe would probably not build new fossil power plants this decade. A strike by South African metal workers has disrupted construction on two major power plants. The National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa is striking to demand a 12% wage increase, a ban on labour broking, and a monthly housing allowance of 1,000 rands, the equivalent of $94. Activity has been disrupted at the construction sites for the coal-fired Medupi and Kusile power plants, with 1,400 employees reported absent at Kusile and 1,000 at Medupi. When completed, each plant will have a capacity of 4.8 gigawatts, making them South Africa's largest power generators. The first units at Medupi are scheduled to come online at year-end. The union said it is planning to picket Exxon's headquarters to protest the company's counteroffer of a 5.6% wage increase. The union offered no projection as to when the strike might end. According to Finance Minister Nelana Nene, South Africa is likely to miss its 2.7% economic growth target for this year due to this strike. Coastal coal-fired and nuclear power plants may be set for more problems as a result of an ongoing rise in jellyfish populations. Power plants that rely on seawater may have to take steps to combat the issue after a University of British Columbia study cautiously stated that jellyfish populations appear to be climbing. Of 66 large marine ecosystems studied, 45 showed an increasing trend in jellyfish population. Last year, the United Nations delivered a similar warning. Nuclear plants in Sweden and Scotland have had to cope with a jellyfish bloom that clogged the intake pipes, while in 2011, a surge in jellyfish shut down the Orat Rabin coal-fired power plant in Hadera, Israel, after jellyfish blocked the seawater supply. Scientists say the creature's proliferation could be down to factors such as its predators being overfished, as well as climate change and the growing acidity of the oceans. A robotic jellyfish terminator has, however, been developed by Korean engineers and may offer a solution. Last year, the KAIST Civil and Environmental Engineering Department unveiled the unmanned aquatic robots, which capture and grind the jellyfish. A formation of 3 robots can wipe out about 900 kilograms of jellyfish per hour. The UK's climate change minister, Greg Barker, has said that shale gas has a key role to play in cutting carbon emissions and helping to eradicate the use of coal. Speaking at a debate in London, Barker said it was time for shale gas opponents to come down off the barricades. He said we should not fear gas or fracking, adding that it is not some Frankenstein technology, and if used thoughtfully and responsibly, the new boom in global gas consumption need not be the enemy of climate change. He said gas could be a valuable ally in fighting emissions, and that the deployment of gas-fired power could help countries hit their emissions targets, in particular reducing reliance in developing nations on diesel-generated power and larger coal-fired power stations. That's all from this week's Power Engineering International's newscast. We look forward to bringing you more power sector news next week.